All right, let's talk about NFTs. I know. It's a world filled with confusing jargon and these crazy, eye-popping headlines. But what if I told you the core idea behind it all is actually pretty simple? Seriously, stick with me for the next few minutes and I promise we're going to make sense of it all. Okay, just look at this number, $69 million. That is how much one person paid for a single piece of digital art from an artist who calls himself Beeple. But the real question is, what did they actually get for all that money?
You heard that right. It wasn't for some huge physical painting hanging in a gallery. It was for a JPEG file, a digital image. The kind of file that you or me or anyone can go online, right-click, save as, and have on our own computer for free.
So yeah, how is that even possible? I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? It sounds completely insane, and that is the central mystery we are going to solve right now. And it all boils down to a totally new way of thinking about what it means to own something in the digital world.
To really get our heads around that insane price tag, we have to start with a very simple, fundamental idea, the difference between an original and a copy.
And that brings us to this weird-sounding term, non-fungible. Let's break it down. Look on the left, fungible. Think about a dollar bill. My dollar is worth the exact same as your dollar. If we trade them, nothing really changes, right? They're interchangeable. But non-fungible, well, that means it's unique, one of a kind, like the Mona Lisa. There's only one original. You can't just swap it for another one because another one simply doesn't exist. It's irreplaceable. And that right there, that is the key to everything.
So, putting it all together, an NFT is a non-fungible token. And all it really is a unique digital certificate. Think of it like a digital receipt or a deed that proves you own the original version of a digital file. It's basically a permanent entry in this giant global public record book, which is what a blockchain is, that says for all the world to see, hey, this specific file belongs to this person.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? Anyone can have a poster or a postcard of the Mona Lisa, but only the Louvre Museum owns the real deal. NFTs are just trying to apply that exact same logic to our digital world. So yeah, we can all go download a copy of that Beeple JPG, but only one person has the official blockchain-verified proof that they own the original.
Okay, so we get what an NFT is trying to do, but how does it actually happen? How does a regular digital file get turned into this unique, ownable asset? Well, the process has a special name. It's called minting, and it's pretty straightforward. Step 1, a creator makes a digital file, an image, a song, you name it. Step 2, that file gets turned into a unique token on a blockchain, like Ethereum. Step 3, the blockchain gives it a permanent, one-of-a-kind ID and ties the ownership to a digital wallet, which you can just think of as a super secure online account for your digital stuff. And boom, step 4, the NFT is born. It can now be bought, sold, or traded, and everyone can see the proof of ownership right there on that public ledger. Now look, the million-dollar art sales are what grab all the headlines. But if you think NFTs are just about expensive JPEGs, you are missing the bigger picture. The real potential of this technology goes way, way beyond just art. And honestly, this is where things start to get really fascinating. For instance, one of the biggest use cases so far has been for profile pictures, or PFPs as everyone calls them. But we're not talking about just any old image. In the world of NFTs, your profile picture can act as your digital identity, and even as a membership card to exclusive online clubs. The most famous example, of course, is the Bored Ape Yacht Club. If you own one of these 10,000 unique ape NFTs, you don't just get a cool picture, you get a key that grants you access to a private community, to exclusive real-life parties and events, and you even get the commercial rights to use your specific ape's image on merchandise. It's part status symbol, part community pass. And this idea of provable ownership is making huge waves in gaming. Think about it. For decades, when you bought an item in a video game, a cool sword, a special outfit, you never really owned it. You were basically just renting it from the game company. If they shut down the game, poof, it's all gone. Well, NFTs are flipping that whole script. Take a game like Axie Infinity. Here, players buy, battle, and breed these little NFT creatures called Axies. And here's the kicker. Because you actually own your Axies as NFTs, you can sell them on an open market for real money. This created this whole new model called play to earn, where people, especially in places like the Philippines, were literally earning a full-time living just by playing the game. And it doesn't stop there. This idea of digital ownership goes even further, right into the metaverse. You have platforms like Decentraland selling parcels of virtual land as NFTs. I'm not kidding.
People are buying digital real estate to build virtual homes, storefronts, and art galleries.
And really, the list of applications just keeps on growing. You have musicians like Kings of Leon selling albums as NFTs, giving them a direct connection to their fans. You're seeing it in sports with digital collectibles. Huge brands like Nike are creating NFT sneakers. And it's even being used for practical things like website domain names on the blockchain.
Okay, so it's easy to get excited about all this potential, but we absolutely have to have a balanced perspective here. For all its promise, the world of NFTs is brand new, it's highly speculative, and believe me, it comes with some pretty significant risks.
First off, the market is ridiculously volatile. Prices can swing wildly from one day to the next. Scams are everywhere, and it can be really tough to spot a fake collection. The transaction fees to use the blockchain, they call them gas fees, can sometimes be shockingly high. And maybe the most important thing to remember, there is zero guarantee that an NFT you buy today will be worth anything at all tomorrow.
So after all of that, the art, the apes, the gaming, the risks, what is the one single thing you should really take away from all this?
It's this. At its absolute core, if you strip away all the hype and all the noise, an NFT is simply a technology. It's a new tool for proving who owns what in a digital world where everything can be perfectly copied. It separates the idea of the original from the infinite copies. That's it. That's the whole idea.
And so that leaves us with the final big question. Is this technology the first step towards a new internet? One where we truly own our digital lives, our art, our identities, our assets? Or is it all just a complicated, speculative bubble that's waiting to pop? The technology to prove ownership now exists. The real question is, what will we all decide is actually worth owning? Now, you understand the debate.